this is the best experience. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
Fresh back from the Shaw, strongest man
Well,
on earth.
Yeah, I've been back about a day and a half and just trying to recover. But yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. So, let me do sponsor reads here.
Go.
Oh yeah. Barbell Apparel, a premium athletic wear engineered for performance with a tailored athletic fit, refined clothing for an athletic body type. Evolution Athletics, a supportive gear company owned by Brian Shaw, four-time world's strongest man and strongest man on earth. We believe in all athletes in their journey towards greatness. Iced Up Industries, $50 off with code BEST at checkout. Iced Up Industries, the best price on ice baths on the market. So, you know what I'm saying? The high quality.
Quality too.
Exactly. E.A.M Coaching. If you're interested in group coaching, and this is a partnership here with John Anderson and Nick Best. We do live every Sunday talking about mindset, talking about training, giving you a workout plan that you can follow in the training, in this training webinar. All right. This is getting how to line yourself up and direct yourself up into following a plan, the mindset of the plan, the mindset of the week, and a weekly thing to follow. So it keeps you accountable. So make sure you check it out at E.A.M Coaching. Links are in the notes. Please go to the link, check them all out, use them. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys. And Nick, man, what a long week.
No, yeah, but it was great. I mean, what more could you want than to go, hang out, do commentary, do a little bit of judging, and just see an amazing event like the Shaw Classic and the strongest man on earth. I mean, it's always great when you get to hang out with all the guys and you get to see him. Thor came back. Mitchell was on a tear. I mean, it's just a great week. I was a little spent when I got back because between commentating, yelling and screaming for everybody and everything else, I was a little exhausted, but it was good. I mean, I can only imagine how Brian's feeling right now because that dude worked nonstop for probably the last 5 months. And I don't think that he was. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, and to think he was competing and doing the same thing.
Yeah, he was, and I think the competing probably took just enough off when he was doing that to where he didn't completely exhaust himself and stuff like that because he had training. Now this was his sole focus. I mean, he literally put everything that he is into this contest. He wants it to be perfect. He wants to move the sport forward in such a way where he wants to make it better for every single athlete, male and female, in his sport. And it's extremely important to him, and the drive he has, and the perfection that he wants and expects and helps with is it's pretty noticeable because it's head and shoulders above everything else going out there right now. And just from the way he treats the athletes when they come in, to the way the show goes off, to everything, the way you have what you need available to warm up with. There's ice baths back there. There's any kind of medical that you would need back there. So it's pretty impressive just all the way around how he runs the thing. And I mean, you get there and you start seeing the performances. You're just like, oh my God, from the deadlift on. I mean, it was on for the strongest man on earth. It was a great contest. It was good to see Thor back. It was good to see him pull like 991 on his second attempt and then just sit and watch. And there were a couple guys that were capable of going over 1,000 that day, but just they didn't have it. And Thor had it and didn't need it. So he went out and was like, hey, he missed over 1,000, so I'm good. I don't need to. I've won the event. My goal is to win this, not just win the event. So
that's smart, strong man.
Thor's looking good and he's looking really strong. I mean, his overhead comes back and he's going to be he's going to be a handful for anyone out there. And Hooper's probably the most cerebral of all the strongmen. He will look at every single event and figure out a way to do it to the best of his possible ability. and he'll read through the rules. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you don't read through the rules as a competitor yourself, you're making a critical mistake and a critical error. And read through them and understand them. If you're not spending at least an hour going through the rules and going through it intricately and asking questions at the rules meeting, because these guys got the rules, I think, 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
So, it should be, you should know what's going on. There were guys who made mistakes that were in the rules that they didn't need to make. So
Yeah.
it's a big deal all the way around. And if you have a coach with you and your coach hasn't intricately gone through the rules as well, that's a problem. I mean, you see guys out there doing stuff and it's like, nope, those are the rules. And they're trying to argue like, it's right here, it's written down.
Exactly.
Can't do that. So, and there were a couple big things like on the deadlift. Guys were warned, hey, your hands are opening up. The deadlift, they got rid of the figure eights.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which is awesome because a lot of the guys were putting the bar down on their fingertips. Some of the guys were putting the bar down on their fingertips, and they were kind of learning how to kind of like abuse it. And he didn't want that with the wrist straps either, so he limited the length so that you couldn't wrap around the back side of your hand.
Yeah,
and wrap it around, creating the same thing. And then you need to pull the straps in. You got straps. If you can't keep your hand all the way on the bar with straps on, that's you trying to get a little extra.
Yeah.
Save a half an inch, which in most cases is fine. But it was strictly against the rules in the Shot Classics, so you couldn't do it. So if your hand opened up and you can see, air, light in there, or the thumb wasn't all the way around the bar, you didn't get the lift, even if you stood up with it. And that happened a couple of times, and it was tragic, but it's the rules. So obey the rules. That was pretty neat. The squat apparatus was absolutely amazing. I can't believe guys didn't ask more questions of the people that tested it, because you can't set up on that thing. Your hips need to be underneath you at the bottom, because if they're not underneath you, yeah. And so if your butt is back like a regular squat, when you get to the bottom and you try to drive that forwards, the weight is going to go at an angle. It's going to go this way instead of this way. And that's what was happening to a lot of the guys when they got down to the bottom. And, you got to practice for that. So anybody who didn't go find a vertical Smith machine to at least train that on kind of also made some critical mistakes in it. They're random. You can find them in gyms. I mean,
it's a standard.
And you're competing for over $100,000. So go find the thing. Go find the implements.
For real.
Even if you got to drive an hour, you practice on it twice or 3 times during your training cycle. At least you know what it's going to feel like. You're going to know. Put your feet way more forward.
Yep.
And it turns it almost into a hack squat for all intents and purposes.
Which I agree. That's the truth.
Yeah. And guys that asked me, I told them I leaned back with my shoulders back into it. Once I got it up, I pushed back and then had my feet forwards. And when I hit the bottom, my hips were directly underneath me. I just popped straight back up.
Yep.
So, for depth wise, they really didn't try to bury the guys. They just tried to make sure they were real close to parallel. They wanted to see reps with 800 pounds, or it ended up being 811. So it was good, but guys made critical errors on where to set their feet on that, and it cost a lot of people. I mean, it's just part of what you do. I like the event. I think it's a great event. I think next year they're probably not only going to have the knee angle, they'll probably start with the hip crease this time instead of the knee angle, and I think that'll take care of some of the other issues that people had with the event. And then that's a great event though. I mean, it looked good when it was going up and down, those barrels up there. It looks badass. I love that event. So
it's one of those one of a kinds.
Yeah, and the thing is you're trying to evolve, you're trying to bring back the spectacle of the sport so it looks cool. And the leg press for the car looks absolutely amazing. First year, a little rough. Second year was freaking flawless.
That's it.
And I think you're going to see an improvement on the guys if he decides to put that in there next year. I think you'll see a big difference in what happens with that event next year, as far as guys getting reps and doing what they're supposed to do with it. So they learned it. Now they'll come back. The guys that listen and move their feet forwards and actually ask me questions about it all hit reps.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, I think.
That's it. That's it. On the Expo side, how much larger? Because I know they said they had opened up 2 wings of it.
Yeah. So there's a front hall and a back hall. They opened both halls. I would like to say I made it to the back hall, but I didn't even. I got to the Evolution booth and the Shield 616 booth, and then I ran over and said hi to Juju, and then got out of there. It was neat. I kind of wanted to walk around more, but I just didn't get the opportunity. And then when I did get in there, I just couldn't get very far, which is great. I love it. I wouldn't trade that for the world. I'll sit there and, meet people and sign autographs and take pictures with people and talk to people all day long. I love it. I absolutely 100% love it. And so, but I only made 2 booths. Then I had to go back in and head over to the Strongest Man on Earth to see the start of that show and help where needed.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, we all saw you on your story. We all saw you driving the sweeping scooter around.
Yeah, that thing is amazing. That was a lot of fun. It's kind of neat. It's like driving a little go-kart, but you're cleaning it at the same time. So it was actually pretty fun. That was a good time. And then the best part though is Thor got up there with his son and he got on it and drove it around right after that, driving him around the place. So
that's hilarious.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was neat.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of those things too. That's always great because it's like I said, these shows, unfortunately I couldn't be there, but like I said, everything looked great from the side. I definitely had a lot of fun just watching reels, shorts, the pay-per-view, just go and the access to it. You know what I'm saying is just a lot better and a lot easier than previous years too. So
right. Well, here's the other thing: even to support the guys and keep supporting the guys. You can go buy it. If you didn't buy the pay-per-view, you can still go buy it. And then you can watch it free for the whole next year. So if you want to see what they're doing, learn techniques and watch and stuff like that, it's something you can go get and still watch free the whole rest of the year for free once you buy it. So it's worth, and it just shows more support. And almost all that money goes back to the athletes. That really does.
Yeah.
So Brian will never put a cap on the prize money. And that's a big deal. So if you support the sport and you want to support these guys, Brian's not going to put a cap on the prize money. Brian will the more they buy, the more he raises the prize money. Gives him more money to do a better job for the sport.
Exactly. And then it pays it forward to the next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's a beautiful thing. And I can't thank Brian and Carrie enough for being my friends and then still having me be a part of this thing. I absolutely just cherish it. So big shout out to them.
Doing strongman is that's your life. That's what you are. That's who you are. And it's like, you've given so much to the sport, but you also give back to the sport. And then that's the best part because like I said, your time is well spent when you're with the fans and people like said, there's a lot of times I'm dragging you away where I'm like, no, we gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know, but I just want the fans to know, hey, that's my job. That's what I do. And like Nick, he's got stuff to do, but man, he's very, very, very generous with his time. So just understand that I'm not trying to be mean.
It's okay. There are so many other things at that show. Look, if you're a professional strongman and there's stones in your event, even if you don't need the other blends of Tacky, try to bring, like for me personally, I use Cerberus's because they have like 4 different grades. I think 5, but 4 different grades.
Yeah.
So I get 1 through 4 on those. And then I also get the Elite Tacky from Dave Oslin.
Yeah.
And Dave will actually make stuff. He'll make a blend and he'll make a cooler one and a hotter one for you to take with you to kind of match the weather and the humidity of the area that you're going to.
Yeah.
So I always bring a combination. I used to bring like 6 or 7. Brian would bring 6 or 7 of them.
Well, one
different
year I
blends
had to
of
run to go
Tacky.
grab the bag, and it's like a gallon zip bag filled to the brim.
Yeah, of a whole bunch of different Tackies. That way, as you're warming up, if you try something and it doesn't feel very good, grab something else. And then you go put your hands on the stones, especially when they're new, before you go do them.
Yep.
And then while they're setting them up out on the floor, I would always go out and mess with them and check it out and see, and get a little fresh tacky on them.
Yeah.
That way, and then where you put your hands. And if you walk up and some guy before you just went and he was coated in it when he walked out there, all that tacky is going to be on the stones. So go up, rotate the thing, put your hands where they're going to go, roll it up again and put your hands ready to go over the top, and then push it back into place.
There we
That
go.
way you get your thin layer of fresh tacky that's on it. And you might not necessarily need to tacky your hands, or if you're in a race and you're not going to have time to tack him, it's already there. You can tack him a little bit more if you need to, and you got time. Or your backs, you need to take a second for your back, you can re-tacky. But you see a lot of critical errors. I mean, by some very elite people at this when it came to tacky and walking out and preparing the stones before you go and stuff like that. And it was interesting. I will say,
and you
if your
mention this all the
coach doesn't,
time.
yeah. And I would say, if your coach doesn't make sure you do this, get another coach. I would say, if your coach doesn't have you donating blood about 6 weeks before the contest, get another coach. They don't know what they're doing. That helps with, sometimes some of the guys get nosebleeds or the air will be real thin, and it'll prevent all that. Which is great.
Colorado was up there.
Yeah, you're up at elevation, and depending on the time, because it can be dry in Colorado, it can be very humid in Colorado. It goes back and forth. So, but it helps prepare you to go when you're ready to go. I mean, there's a lot of little things that I see some coaches that are making a lot of money that they're not, they might know how some of it works, but they have no idea how to compete. And then they try to argue with you, which I thought was quite funny. I've done the Arnold, so I've done these stones out there when it was in contests, so I get a pretty good idea of what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I've also done it World's Strongest Man like 10 times, and I competed in the Arnold twice and was an alternate once. So,
a little experience behind you.
Yeah, but it's good to see people working hard. It's better to see them prepared and ready to go, and the experience will pay off.
Yeah, no, which that's it all comes with time, And like I said, the Shaw, strongest man on earth, man, and like you even got for the amateurs and for the Open, they had a YouTube stream too. You know what I'm saying? So like,
which was free on the Strongest Man on Earth's YouTube page.
Yeah.
So I know the first day got like 94,000 the last time I checked views, and then it was like over each day they got over 50,000 views, which is phenomenal for them, which is awesome. It was neat that he did that, because last year he charged for it. This year it was free.
Yeah.
So, and then the Strongest Man on Earth, had the pay-per-view. So he's really doing everything he can to push this forward and get it out to as many people as they can. So it's going to be good for the sport long term. It really is. And thank you, Brian, for the sacrifice and the hard work that you and Carrie put into this. It really is helping the sport just overall.
Oh yeah, so and hopefully next year I can definitely come, because like I said, this is and something for me always seems to pop up, and I can't show up to anybody, and just not to leave people in expense. I had a heart attack, but I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we got knocked down, but I'm standing back up.
Yep.
And that's it.
The blood clots and stuff that you get is just
bullshit.
So yeah.
We don't want to go too far into that weeds, because that's the stuff that gets us taken down.
We're just going to thank the laboratory in China for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's switch gears to Mitchell Hooper. Man, what a video drop yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
You know?
pretty awesome. It's neat seeing how motivated he is and how much he does love the sport, and then love the influence and the way he can reach people through the sport. I
Yes,
mean,
which he has been.
he's generally a good guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he really is. What you get is what you get. Now, he's hyper intelligent, so you have to understand that. But I mean, it's so he comes from he's not coming from a place of trying to be cocky. He's coming
Yeah.
from a place where he's pretty smart, and he says things, that
Yeah.
a lot of times like get misunderstood.
Yeah,
So
we've
he's
hung out dinner,
mhm,
talking
mhm,
with him. It's just so
yeah,
like there's so many
love that
times
guy.
I've mentioned things to him, and he's like,
Mhm.
and I'm like, that makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking.
Right now, he's mentally probably the strongest in the game.
I agree
Like,
with that.
hands down, what he can push himself through, how he can attack things, how he analyzes every event and finds any way possible. Because, like, Brian and Magnus Ver were probably two of the best that would pick apart events. I mean, watching, you know, I know Magnus was, known for that, but I didn't get to be there while he was pulling it apart in person.
Yeah,
But getting to sit there and be there in person when Brian's pulling it apart and asking every question under the sun, which is why he's so good at setting up events, because usually there's not a whole lot of holes you can slip through when
yeah,
Brian comes up rules for a contest. But he's probably the best right now at pulling events apart and figuring out how to get every single ounce out of it and get every point out of every single event. Very
yeah,
rarely does he do bad in an event. And he almost never does bad in an event 2 years in a row, ever.
yeah. Exactly.
So he learns, comes back, fixes, adjusts, and conquers. And that's why he's winning how he's winning. I mean,
Yeah,
one of the many reasons, between talent, desire, intelligence, just
mhm.
all the way through. I mean, yeah, he's probably one of the most physical, gifted athletes I've ever seen.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And like I said, he's won all 4 titles. He
Hmm.
set a world record. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He's accomplishing the things that he set out to be, because he's went from sport to sport to sport, and like, how good can I be? Can I be the best at what I am doing here? And like, he in that video, he chronologically laid it out, like, this is what
Hmm.
I did, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden I was there. And that first worlds he did, we were sitting right next to him as he was eating dinner. And he
Hmm.
like, and I just remember too listening to him talking about his training numbers, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And it was just like, and he was just casually saying these things, and I'm like, man, and
Mhm.
like I said, just eating his dinner, having a good time, joking around, playing. And I just was like, this kid's got something. You know what I'm saying? That first
Yeah.
year, I could feel it off of him.
Yeah. And there's going to be some other guys. There's some guys coming up now, like Lucas Hatton got third. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
he
we
had
had
an
him on the show.
amazing, yeah, and he had an amazing performance, absolutely amazing, and pulled it out at the end. There was like nearly a three-way tie for third place,
Yeah,
going into that last event.
that's it.
And he gutted it out going up those power stairs. I'm sitting there yelling at him. I'm like, "Go one more stair, go get it all the way on," and he comes up, he gets it up there. He thought he was really close on time, and it's like, no, he had a good time. I think he finished in like 102 or something.
Nice.
So
And then power stairs are
he
no
had,
joke.
yeah, well, 600 pounds on a power stairs, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah,
So, but he gutted it out. He got it up there. He did those things, which is super impressive, and he secured third place.
that's
And
it.
that's no joke when you got Mitchell Hooper and Thor Bjornsson.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you following two of the greats right there. Former
yeah,
world's strongest man.
yeah,
He just got his strongest America's strongest man. And like I said, and I think Lucas, he had mentioned on Instagram that he could have done worlds, or he was like in line to it, but he was like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not going into a
right,
competition that I'm not prepared for. And he's a young man, so guess what? That's a thought process too. Because like, even talking with
yeah.
Lucas, that's just another one of those guys that like, cerebral, smart, talking about it. Very very
Mhm.
thorough on what his plans are to do. So I definitely tip my hat to Lucas on that third, because that was tremendous. Just to be standing up there with the greats like that, it's
Yeah.
like,
And Austin had a good contest.
yep,
I think Tom had a couple critical errors, one in the squat and the stones. I mean, you could have laid money probably in Vegas at 90 to 100 to 1, maybe even 1,000 to 1
woo,
that he wouldn't zero the stones, and he
yeah,
zeroed the stones.
damn,
But some of that's tacky, trying too long,
yeah,
not going out with tacky all over your arms.
yeah, not
Um,
prepared,
but that's okay. I mean, he'll learn from that. That'll never happen again.
yeah,
So, but nobody would expect that,
yeah,
And the squat, his butt was way back when he hit the bottom. And if you can't get that leverage underneath
yeah,
it,
you're folded. That's
yeah,
it.
it's not going to matter. His feet were too far back.
Yep.
So those things will get fixed, and he'll be fine. But it was a tough contest. So Evan had a good show. Trey did unbelievable. I
Yeah.
think Trey got fourth. He's
And
won the
coming back from the
contest a couple
Achilles.
times.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's what nobody seemed to get. He tore his Achilles less than a year ago.
Exactly. And
Less
he's
than a
pulling.
year ago. Yeah.
And he's looking leaner and meaner every
Yep.
time I see him.
Mm-hmm. And so again, with Trey, it's a grip thing. And that arm over arm and wheelbarrow cost him some points.
Ugh.
And if he can ever get that grip figured out, it's on, because there'll be he won't. There's nothing he's going to lose points in.
Yeah.
So that'll be significant. That'll make it harder for him to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes when there's contests that are this rough and this well rounded, everybody will have one bad event. The
Mhm.
problem is there's about 3 or 4 guys now that don't have bad events. They might not win the event, but they'll be in the top 5 in that event. And that's kind
Getting
of
them
hard to come back
points.
from when you get one where you're like 15th or 16th in. So
Yeah.
Trey ever gets his grip figured out, he's
Yeah.
already a ton to deal with. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
overhead
That's the big
pressing,
thicket
just
right
all of
there.
it. Yeah, the big thicket. I love that
That's
guy.
it. We got to
So
get a hold of Evolution. They need to make some more of his shirts.
yeah,
Or not
that's
Evolution, Barbell. Yeah, Barbell. We
Barbell.
need some more shirts because they sold out already.
Yeah. So yeah, all in all, amazing contest. And it's always fun. I got to spend a lot of time with Ed Cohen again. So that's
Yeah,
always
that's always
it's always
Ed.
fun when I
Ed,
get to hang out with my
Ed
friend and
is so
idol.
fun. Ed is
Yeah.
so. You know what I'm
Him
saying?
and Haga, yeah.
Yeah.
Haga's hilarious because
Yeah.
she's probably the only person I've seen give him a hard time.
Yeah.
And and Haga is just like in an amazing shape too. I mean, climbing up the mountains and stuff in Norway with her, stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's just, there's so much fun to be with.
Yeah.
Just good people.
That's
Just
it.
love them to death.
Well, that's the one thing about Strongman. It's a
Mm.
very tight knit community, and they're very
Yeah,
accepting of everyone who joins in. Because, like I said, if you're there to have a good time and you're there to have fun, and you're not there to just bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Everybody accepts you, and that's the best part.
And then it's really neat to see like the judges that were there, like Mark Philippi. Mark
Yeah.
Philippi put on the first strongman contest I went to. That Dylan was like, "Dad, you're strong. You should do this. It's really cool." Back in 2004, he put that on. I was like, "Yeah, this is a good idea." That kind of sparked me getting into it.
Yep.
And then Chad Coy, that was the third contest I went to in Indiana,
I love
and I
Chad. He's
missed.
so funny.
Yeah, yeah. Old man
He's
Chad.
the
He's
oh,
2 days older than me.
that's it. But he gives you the hardest time.
Oh, he does, which is great, and I give it right back to him.
Oh yeah, that you do.
But I went to Chad's contest and I got second place by a point. And he's just like, "You need to go do Van's contest in a month and just go get more experience." He goes, "You're gonna be good at this." And a month later, I go to Van's contest and I, I win and get my pro card. So Van's a judge, Chad's a judge, Mark's a judge. So all the guys that were there at the start of my career and helped me through things. I got equipment from Van. I still got the William Strength log and the red Atlas stone that Van gave me because I didn't have a log or a stone to train with at first. So it's and a frame and a pretty neat community, and it's great when you develop lifelong friends like this.
Hell yeah.
It really is.
Hell yeah,
So,
man. Well, it was a great weekend. It was a great time.
mhm.
Still recovering. It's a lot of standing, a lot of walking. But before we get
Yeah.
out of here, Nick, let the people know what you always say.
Okay. I'll get into that in 1 second.
Okay.
I'm fired up. I'm totally fired up. I cannot wait till December 6th through the 8th because I'm going to go do official Strongman games, and it just feel reinvigorated. I cannot wait to get back out there. So I can't wait to see you guys in December, at the official Strongman games.
Hell
But
yeah.
with that being said, as always, train hard, train smart, and be the best you can be. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it.